prayer, please.
On Facebook Live here in a minute.
Well, she hasn't started yet. Yeah, Victor's worried that I'm going to do the Vader on the record.
Darth Vader on the Facebook.
For the record,
I would like the minutes to reflect that Adam started with the Darth Vader breathing.
and for the record, our chairs were not sunk to the bottom today.
Yeah, but we used them the other day and they were sunk again. All like,
I think it's a conspiracy.
I think it is too. It has to be that the Planning Commission is all 11 feet tall. Direct descendants of Goliath.
Hey, what's those comments? Do we have comments? Oh, is there comments that just aren't? Oh, I'll have to go back and read them. I actually, we're not Facebook Live, are we? I sometimes go read Kate Dowley's posts about me, just to help me feel, it's kind of a stoic exercise in making me more grounded.
We're still not on right now? Nicole, we are west wide, 35 degrees above average right now. You wouldn't know it in this room. We're going to take a recess after every agenda item to go heat back up. We're going to put a little clear cover over it like the chapels all have, so that nobody can touch it. I might go get my blanket, not blankie. Okay, I'm not 4.
Maybe when there's a controversial item, we'll just crank up the heat to about 80 degrees.
Oh, that'd be so nice. All right, are we good now? Oh, and the clock needs to be adjusted too. All right. Welcome to a special meeting of the Board of Commissioners on the 20th of March. The purpose of the special meeting is that we had another urgent meeting on Tuesday evening that we had to leave for, and we had 2 public hearings, one of which went long, and we had some important business that needed to get addressed before the next commission meeting. That was the rest of the agenda that we had to table, but didn't have to be done that night. So we appreciate our staff who got to listen to the public hearing, and then we let you go home without addressing the things that you need to have addressed. So that is the purpose of this. If anybody's wondering as to why we're having a meeting at 10 a.m. on a Friday, this is unusual, but we need to get through the rest of that agenda. We will start with a prayer from our own Leslie Fonger, or Jamie, whoever gets up first. Thank you, Jamie.
Our dear kind Father in heaven, we are so very grateful to be gathering today. We are so very grateful for your presence in our lives and for your presence during this meeting. Please bless us that we will be able to think clearly and to vote clearly, and bless us that we can remember your true intentions for your children. And we say these humbly in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Jamie. And we'll have a pledge led by Chad.
Everyone rise and follow me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you to you both. The first item on the agenda is a consideration of resolution number R 2026-3724, resolution approving a professional services agreement for market value appraisal service for a parcel in the Red Cliffs NCA. I'm going to guess that you'll cover this one for us since Cameron is
Yes,
not
correct.
here today.
Cameron asked that I cover this one. He's dealing with Ravens this morning, and so this is an agreement with an appraiser on one of the last, maybe is the last private in holding in Zone 3. You'll recall, Commissioners, that in our Habitat Conservation Plan, we agreed as a county to help facilitate these acquisitions by the federal government. Sounds like they have federal funding lined up to purchase this last private in-holding in Zone 3. And so as part of our commitment to facilitate these acquisitions, this is an appraisal, a resolution that would approve an appraisal report and contract for this acquisition.
Very good. This is actually a very important thing, Mr. Chairman. You know, I've been here long enough to know that there were times that I didn't ever have hope that we would be able to get this far, so we've made a lot of progress. So with your permission, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we adopt resolution R-2026-3724, a resolution approving a professional service agreement for market value appraisal services for a parcel in Red Cliffs, NCA.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 2 is consideration of resolution number R 2026-3725, a resolution approving a hosting and sponsor agreement with Holbrook LLC. Chad.
So this is just a hosting sponsorship agreement to use the pickleball facility on top of our parking garage with Holbrook, a Utah pickleball manufacturer. During next week is the Greater Zion Cup. The PPA Professional Pickleball Tour is in Washington County. It's a week long. There'll be 1,100 pickleball players and professional athletes that are here playing pickleball one night during next week. The Holbrook would like to host a night for the pro players, pro ambassadors, and also a product reveal. Last year we did this on there and it was successful. They loved our facility. It made for great pictures with professional players, and they asked to do this again this year. There's one change to the agreement. They actually called me last night at about 8 o'clock and asked to move it to Thursday night, March 26th. From the same time, from 3 to 9 p.m. using the thing. They had some pro athletes had some conflicts of interest.
So not the
Friday night.
27th.
Yeah, it'll be on the 26th, so that'll be the one change from Friday
And
to
does that
Thursday.
work with our,
What's that?
does it work, Nicole, there's nobody else is
Using it.
like, we're fine with having them in there as
Correct,
far as the
and
rest of
really
it?
this is tourism hosting this event for them.
Oh,
I just
okay.
want to
So
make,
yeah,
I
it's
just
just
want
an
to be
there's no
agreement.
other conflict, I'm saying, with
No.
with the pickleball. Okay. Great.
I'll make the motion that we approve resolution number R 2026-3725, approving a hosting sponsor agreement with Holbrook LLC.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion
I won't be
passes.
there, Chad. I'll be in Salt Lake, sadly. I wanted the 27th, but 26th is without me. Okay.
Next item is consideration of resolution R 2026-3726, a resolution approving TRT funding for marketing sponsorships and event funding for nonprofit organizations in Washington County. Jamie.
Hello, Commissioners. The Washington County Tourism Tax Advisory Board recently met to review transient room tax funding requests to market and promote events and visitor-dependent businesses. They passed the following requests through approvals onto you guys for your recommendations. So Arts to Zion for print and distribution of their Zion Gallery map, $15,800. The Dinosaur Auditorium for marketing and promotion of the museum for $5,000. The Silver Reef Foundation to print and distribute their rack cards and marketing for $6,590. The Film and Media Alliance of Southern Utah for their 2026 Horror Fest International Film Festival, up to $2,500. The Film and Media Alliance of Southern Utah for their 2027 Desertscape International Film Festival for up to $2,000. St. George Dance Company for the 2026 Red Rock Dance Festival, up to $2,950. and St. George Area Chamber of Commerce for their 2027 St. George Area Chamber Guide up to $30,000. That total is $64,840. And then the Kayenta Arts Foundation for their 2026 Art in Kayenta Festival up to $5,000. The Zion Forever Project for their 2026 Zion Park Invitational up to $4,000. The Great Western Classic for the 2026 Great Western Classic Basketball Tournament for $5,000 to $15,000, depending on the amount of teams. The American Fast Pitch Association for the 2026 AFA National Softball Tournament up to $25,000. The Utah Summer Games for the 2026 softball and shooting events up to $10,000. And the American Cancer Society, the 2026 Southern Utah Golf Classic for up to an $800 auction item for a total of $59,800.
What is the Zion Park Invitational?
So it's an art invitational that they do throughout the community. They bring in artists from outside Washington County. And they do paintings in the canyon.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you, Jamie. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt Resolution R-2026-3726, resolution approving these TRT funding requests and marketing sponsorship for the events that have been listed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Jamie. Next is consideration of resolution number R-2026-3727, a resolution approving TRT funding for events held by St. George City.
Yes, this is continuing on with the tab board recommendations for using transient room tax with St. George City for the 2026, 2027, 2028 St. George Art Festival for $25,000 per year. The 2026, 2027, 2028 Snow Canyon Half Marathon for $5,000 a year, and the St. George Marathon for the years of 2027 and 2028. This is just kind of shoring up some long-term partnership with St. George City for the events that they bring in that have significant economic impact into our community.
Question. Chairman?
Yeah.
Chad, quite frankly, often we hear that from some municipalities that, what have you done for us lately? How do city council members know that this is where some of the funding came? Because I have been on St. George City Council, and when they talk about the marathon, they say, this is our budget, and this is what it's going for. It doesn't say where it comes from or any credit to the county, which has donated for decades, probably. So how do we convey that this money actually goes to St. George?
How do we convey it to the public?
To the council.
To the municipalities themselves.
It's just, we need to work with St. George City or whatever municipality that we work with, that there is these funds available for their event if it has significant economic impact, but kind of encouraging to say, hey, give us a little credit where it's at so that we can show that we're doing things, and then other municipalities will then see that we're doing that. We're really pushing and working a little differently with St. George City on these events to give us the credit, to use the county logo, to use the Greater Zion logo, to let people know that there is a partnership. St. George City just recently recognized Washington County and Greater Zion with a partnership with the Utah State Parks and Recreation Board at their annual conference a week ago, showing that there is a partnership here, and they're letting other communities know it. There was several municipalities from Washington County in that conference that heard that, and we've since talked about, well, can you help us with this? And it says depends. We're not really. We love our locals and we want to do things for them, but the money that is used for this has come from out of state, out of area, stays, and we have to educate them a little better on that. But it's visiting with those council members to say this is what we're doing.
I think to help or to piggyback with what Commissioner Almquist was saying, I think part of the problem is that staff in a municipality, I'm not saying just St. George, any municipality, right? Staff could be aware of these funds. They could apply. They could work with you, right, or anybody in the tourism department, and they could get the application through. Yep, we know we're going to try and get some money out of St. George, out of the county for the marathon or for some other event. We apply through the tab board. The money comes in. It then gets put in to the entire budget, and the council, the mayor, other people may not ever know
That's what I
that
mean.
$25,000, $65,000, some amount of money came from the county, and then the council turns around and says, how come you guys never help? Because their own staff may not have communicated that,
my point.
oh, the county did help, and they do. So I don't know how best to do that either, but I agree with the concern.
We live it every day. Have the check made out to the council members, and they have to all endorse the back.
I do wonder, Chad, and I used to talk to Kevin Lewis about this. He had your position before, and I almost said, when you're in Washington County, you need to have business cards that say Washington County, and when you're outside, have Greater Zion. I almost wonder, because they have expressed appreciation, and I do believe they do appreciate it when they know about it. But the point is a lot of times they don't necessarily know. I almost wonder if we shouldn't make a practice that after we approve money, as we're starting to send it, maybe just send them all an email and say, hey, we want to make you aware that, Washington County has approved these funds. And make sure you sign it as Washington County rather than Greater Zion. I've had mayors, and I'm not going to speak to them, but they'll get up and we'd really like to thank Greater Zion. And then later they'll say something, well, Washington County. They'll kind of mumble it. But I don't know if they didn't realize, but we're together, right? Greater Zion is our marketing name. So anyway, just a thought. I don't want to make it in some ways I would like us to be the silent partner, but it's gotten to the point where it feels like we need to keep reminding them every time we do something, because it seems that there's this myth out there that we're never helpful, we're never trying to find good ways to...
And I think you've seen the state of the cities lately with a lot of the different municipalities, and I was at quite a few of them, and I know how much money we've sent to them just from our side, not even including the things that you guys have done as opposite of what we're trying to do. We've never gotten credit. And I see what you're saying, and just so you know, all checks that do go out do say Washington County on them. Mm-hmm. They don't say Greater Zion. But I'm wondering if one of the things we can do when we're doing the municipalities like this is get the check, we hold on to the check, it's brought to me, and then we present it at one of their city councils.
So that's what I was going to say, is that, the state does that with what DNR does, right?
Yep.
When they come and they give us their PILT payment.
It's literally less than $200.
It would be easier for them, and let's just say for a second, that the BLM would do that, right? Because then it would actually be substantial dollars.
Yeah.
And so, again, I'm not blaming the city councils and the mayors at all, because we would do the same thing. If PILT money just came in and we didn't ever know where its source was, and it just went to Ryan, and Ryan put it into the budget, and it just kind of all got, as fungible goods or dollars, and we would start after a while to go, how come the BLM never pays, for the PILT payments that they're supposed to do? But when Kevin Bunnell for all those years would come and deliver us a $113 check for the year, at least it would be easier for him to just mail it.
Yeah.
But it was an acknowledgement of this. On small amounts, you would spend your entire day just going and delivering checks with how much we help out. So I don't think that's the right answer. The email might be good for small amounts, and then maybe there's a threshold.
Some of these might be
some of the
good,
threshold over, 25,000 or something. Yeah, we're going to go deliver. Hey, here's the county, and then requiring a brand, and maybe this is more on the legal side, requiring that anything that receives, TRCC or TRT dollars requires a county acknowledgement, logo or something on at the event.
And that's what we're doing with the marathon, and we've reached kind of doing it differently than just writing a check. And just saying, here's the amount, is working out actual agreements with them and saying, you will do 5 social media posts, you will do a banner for this main stage at the art festival, you will do on the billboard out on I-15 for the marathon. There will be some co-branded logos, with us and you. And so that's one of the things that I've kind of shifted some of the municipalities in the same way we work with Ironmans and Spartan and PGAs. You will use our logo with certain events at certain spots that benefit us and benefit the county.
Mr. Chairman, I actually think Chad brings up a good point. When the check is written out directly to the city, and even a big organization like the Chamber of Commerce,
Right.
I actually think maybe we should do what Chad's saying, where he asks to be put on the agenda, he shows up with the check, he just explains briefly, the Washington County's approved these funds, I just wanted to present the mayor with the check. Then that way, everybody sitting on the dais has an opportunity, just like the state does with us, to kind of acknowledge that. And I'm not, the sad thing about it is I would really prefer that the county be more silent, but it's getting to the point where we almost have to start telling our story, because there's rumors and misrepresentations out there, and so maybe let's explore that together, because I could see that as, it would be good for both of us, actually. It'd be good for the overall tourism, because you could take just a minute to explain why. And let's take, for example, our friends over in Hurricane, and they were very gracious and good. They invited us, helped us, invited us to cut the ribbon. They acknowledged us, but that was $2 million, right? So it would have been great, to show up in front of staff, in front of the public, hand them that $2 million check, and then they all know, because maybe the mayor knew, and the city councils knew something, but I think maybe that would help, and it would actually give you a moment to explain, well, the reason we were able to do this is we fully expect this to be part of a larger complex that you're building. We buy into your dreams up there. We know that there's going to be events coming, and so you can also take a moment to educate why it was an investment of destination development dollars. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense, and I think I have no issues with that, because there's not a lot of them from our office to the municipality directly.
Yeah.
As far as a sponsor, like $500 to Springdale City for their marathon. It's like, we can just go there, take the stuff, and say, hey, and that's big for them. $500 is $25,000 to St. George, so it's big for them. And I think there's not that many.
But we did give quite a bit of money to their park, the Paul whatever park up there. And so anyway.
But yeah, so there's the destination development projects. I think I think that would be a great thing to do, at least so they're all their city council members.
It was a member of the public who sent me this text last week that said, I'm hearing the drumbeat because it's an election year.
Yeah.
Why doesn't the county distribute their tourism dollars?
Yeah.
It was a...
Because we're hoarding them for decades, and then we're going to...
Other counties might, but that was my point in bringing this up. Somebody needs to know. Okay.
Jamie?
I only jumped up here to add, Matthew Watson, our partner relations manager, has also been doing presentations to each of the city councils specifically, and the chambers, with these directives, telling them exactly, what we've been able to do with them, with their funds for years, let alone this year. He's also been trying to help them educate them on how to apply easier. So that has been part of what we're working on. It seems like maybe we need to get a little more word out about that, though.
Well, and I think with chambers and with other organizations that he's doing that with, those are smaller. I think part of this is the size of...
City council meetings, too, with the Washington City.
Yeah, I think we get plenty of credit and acknowledgement. Like, I've heard Sean Christensen with the chamber many times talk about how great the county is as a partner. I think it's the size of the organizations with some of the municipalities that it gets lost with the staff. And they know, and they might be personally grateful, but we keep coming back to this. This is, and so that's actually, Chad, we're talking to you only because you were the one presenting on this. I think it might be Matthew or Brittany or
think
whoever
it's
is the
gonna-
most,
it's gonna
it
take
wasn't a
everybody.
directive to
Yeah.
you, it was a directive to
Yep.
Yeah.
you
Big picture.
as the Greater Zion team to.
That's a great idea.
It's going to take everybody, because there's projects that Destination Development with Leslie and some of these mountain
Yeah.
bike trails and some of these, the basketball for Hurricane and their storm, the four courts, the Sun Bowl. And I mean, just in these events here for this year with St. George City, you've got 30, 60, you've got 90,000 on 2 events just for this year
Yeah.
with the marathon and the art festival. And then going forward, we're at 75, and if we deliver that check that says why we're supporting, because we believe in you, there's a hard cost, and then everybody kind of hears it that's in their audience and them, that, like you said, it stops sometimes with these checks at Shane more, and that's where it stops, and that's.
Yeah, Shane Moore loves us. I have no doubt.
But that's where it
that
stops.
that Shane's always aware. I would, and you don't want to tell the whole long story every time, but when we're doing this presentation, reminding them that these funds have special designations. They're not just, it's just like, how often did Hurricane ask for swimming pool money? And I would have loved to have helped, but we can't get into the rec center business, so it has to have this connection. And so we were able to, find a way to help them, and we need to kind of explain that we can't invest in playgrounds, but softball complexes or basketball complexes that can be used for visitors and destination, we could invest in. And sometimes we think that elected city council members automatically know just because they won an election, but they're very much part-time, and they just don't have the time to dig into the weeds. They're busy worried about things inside their cities. So this is a great discussion.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, and the checks are, like I said, for the amount of checks that we write to the city, I think it's not a full-time job to go twice, there's that many flowing out of there that I think it would be very reasonable to do that.
Well, and I think also bringing attention to the events that we are specifically bringing that are distributed throughout the county, like the Utah Summer Games, which will primarily use Hurricane City, or off-road that we support that uses Hurricane City, or the others that use St. George, or the vacation races that uses the Springdale Virgin area. That's also contributed to their economies through those events and through those marketing avenues.
Yeah.
You know how the rock and roll bands have the list of tours on their back, or on the T-shirt?
Yes.
We need to have a whole list of what we give them, and then give them a
we
T-shirt.
could make jackets. You guys could walk around.
You would need a cape.
Yeah.
We'd look like a NASCAR
Yeah.
race.
Well, I think that's a good discussion. If you guys can think about how to, and we don't want to make it seem like the city's never acknowledged it.
Right.
The Pioneer Park, up at the Sugarloaf, the county got a lot of credit for helping with that, and it's not so much credit, as Commissioner Iverson said, it's the public understands where these dollars are going and the investment that's being made into the community, and the best way to do that is the people that are receiving them acknowledge it as well.
They can help toot our horns a little bit, too.
Okay.
Are we ready?
I would be ready for a motion on number 4.
Let's see, did I make the motion?
I don't think we
No.
did on 4 yet.
Oh, okay.
Did on 3. I move that we approve resolution number R 2026-3727, a resolution approving TRT funding for events held by St. George City.
I'll second that motion.
Motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Number 5 is consideration of resolution number R 2026-3728, a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding with the BLM regarding, or designating Washington County as a cooperating agency for the development of the High Desert Trail Environmental Assessment.
Yeah, so the state BLM office will be heading up this environmental assessment for High Desert Trail, which is what will become a designated motorized route that connects the southern end of the state to the northern end of the state along its western side. So it would come through the western side of Washington County, and as we're the southern end of the state, depending on how you look at it, start with us. And So we're going to be wanting to be in those conversations, and this memorandum of understanding, allowing us to be a cooperating agency, means that we'll be involved in that process and part of the decisions, and as that moves along through its analysis.
Excellent.
Well, this is something we need to happen. It's amazing to me that the 2009 Lands Bill designated that this should happen. And here we are, just like our northern corridor, being lied to and deceived. Anyway, I hope they follow through and get this done, and I hope that we don't have too many snags, but we absolutely need to be a part of that. So, Mr. Chairman, with that, I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution R-26-3728, a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding with the BLM in regards to the High Desert Trail.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Leslie. Number 6 is consideration of Resolution R 2026-3729, a resolution approving the First Amendment to a professional service contract with American Conservation Experience for the Cliff Rose Trail Construction Phase 3 project, formerly Spring Hollow Trail Construction Phase 3.
So this project first started out named Spring Hollow, since it's become Cliff Rose. The same project, and it's our partnership with the Dixie National Forest.
Is it because there's no real springs up there, right?
Well, there is a feature up there named Spring Hollow.
Okay.
The Forest Service felt strongly about changing the name to Cliff Rose, which there are Cliff Rose plants up there.
Okay.
And so they went ahead and did that. They felt there were enough things in there, among other forests and things, named Spring Hollow, and that this was more appealing to them. So that change happened, and we've supported them on that. So now Cliff Rose...
Maybe they should call it the Diamond Valley.
Nope. Moving on.
They've already printed their logo for Cliff Rose, sorry.
Oh, too late. Oh, shoot. I was with you. I was going to second
Yeah.
it, but no.
So this is Phase 3 of that project. There are 22 miles of trail up there right now. Phase 3 will add 11 in 5 trail segments, and we are amending the contract with ACE, who did a portion of the second phase, to do 3 of the trail segments of the third phase. And that's
I
what
like
this
it.
is for. We'll be able to get started on that the next month here.
And then how many, just for the public's awareness, how many total miles will there be when it's all done?
When Phase 3 is done, 33 miles.
And when all of Cliff Rose is
Well,
done?
there is a possibility of a Phase 4 as far as area that's been environmentally cleared, other than some archaeology. However, there's a limited appetite from the Forest Service and us to pursue those miles immediately anyway. It's because it's a very remote, hard to get to section. So what Phase 3 is going to do is take the Phase 2 and Phase 1 area that has the bulk of the trails, and some of those miles are added into that to finish creating loops in that bulk of trails. And then it creates one connecting trail that climbs up and connects to the Blake Goobler trailhead area, which is a little bit difficult to get to as it is. If there were a Phase 4, it would keep adding trails in that Blake Goobler area, and so there's a pause on considering how many miles of trail we want to be up and that remote in the near future. So Phase 3 will be the end of this project, at least for a few years, if they're considering that. The original NEPA also included additional trails around Pine Valley, and so we want to take some time and narrow down what might be worth pursuing in that area too.
Do you have any idea of how many people are using the 22 miles that exist right now?
I do. The Forest Service does have some counters out there, and they had a full year of counts for the 2025 year. They are still doing some of their algorithms on those numbers, but we're north of 50,000 for the 2025 year. So
Wow.
users out there.
For a new system, that's
For a new system
Incomplete.
that doesn't have a full trailhead yet, because we're working on that still as well.
Well,
very cool.
good. Mr. Chair, I move on resolution number R 2026-3729 that we approve the First Amendment to a professional service contract with American Conservation Experience for the Cliff Rose Trail Construction Phase 3 project.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 7 is consideration of Resolution R 2026-3730, a resolution approving the Second Amendment to a professional service contract with the Ptarmigan Trails. Is it intentionally spelled that way with
It
a
is.
P at the?
Yes, yes.
It's weird. For the Cliff Rose Trail Construction Phase 3 project, formerly Spring Hollow Trail Construction Phase 2.
Move to approve.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
That was a very easy one for you, Leslie. Number 8 is consideration of Resolution R 2026-3731, a resolution approving an independent contractor agreement between Washington County and Focus Creative Solutions, LLC, for consulting and graphic design services. Jamie again.
Yes. I'm sure you're sick of me. Okay.
Not at all, Jamie.
So-
It's ridiculous.
The resolution before you is an agreement with, like you said, Focus Creative Services LLC for graphic design services for our office. Focus Creative Solutions LLC is a local Washington County design firm.
Good.
And the contract is for 6 months with an option to renew.
Very good. Seems pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt Resolution R-2026-3731, a resolution approving an independent contract agreement between Washington County and Focus Creative Solutions.
I'll second that with a comment about their budget. Is there a
Oh, yes,
max?
it's 3,800, up to 3,800 a month.
Okay. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Number 9 is consideration of resolution number R 2026-3732, a resolution appointing a board member to the Administrative Control Board of Angel Springs Special Service District. Devin Snow.
Yes, Commissioners, there's a vacancy on this board, and the county received 2 applications to fill this vacancy. Staff is recommending that Stephanie Ward be appointed to fill that vacancy.
Simple enough.
Move to approve Stephanie Ward to the Angel Springs Special Service District Administrative Control Board.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second on the resolution. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. That concludes the regular agenda items. Do we have any commissioner reports that need to be, anything to be shared?
Well,
Good job, everyone.
All right. Seeing none, we will stand adjourned. We should make sure that our meeting can only be